Welcome back to Scarlet and Maize. Let's jump right in, Zack. Oregon 35, Ohio State 28. Give us a recap and some thoughts.
It was rough. The Ohio State on offense in the first half couldn't finish their drives. They turned it over on downs a few times, and it was really rough to watch. I missed some of it, though, because I was at a conference. But I watched most of the game, and Oregon thoroughly outplayed them, outcoached them. They were ready. Ohio State wasn't. The defense is awful. The rush defense is terrible. And, the pass offense was meh. And Oregon's quarterback played really well, and they took advantage of the man-to-man all day. In the run game, they were taking advantage of the man-to-man by they put the receiver in motion and do the crack block, but the cornerback would be following the wide receiver, and then he'd just be confused and get burnt to the outside. Mm. And then there was no containing the edge there because the DN's getting crack blocked and the corner's not playing the outside because he's in man-to-man following the wide receiver. That defense is littered with talent. There's no excuse to why we're not playing well other than coaching. Kerry Coombs, his seat is very hot right now, and if something doesn't change, I don't think he's going to be our defensive coordinator much longer.
It's wild to me as a Michigan fan. I had Don Brown for so many years. Kerry Coombs loses one game in 3 years? It's get him out of here.
Well, I mean, even crazy. The defense struggled a lot at times last year too.
And against Minnesota.
And Indiana. Yeah, they struggled against Minnesota. The Indiana game where Freifogel went for 200 yards. It's just been rough since he's been there. Really. I mean, he's only been there the last 2 years, but.
Yeah.
And the game against Alabama was just embarrassing, making no adjustments, having a linebacker on a Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver at one point. I just don't think he is built to be a defensive coordinator. He was a great defensive backs coach with Ohio State when he was just solely working on that position, but I don't think he's built to be a defensive coordinator.
Dang. My only thought was that I just saw that Oregon ran 269 yards, 3 touchdowns on 7.1 yards per carry. And then I think, could Michigan have a shot? But no, I've seen that movie before. Michigan doesn't have a shot.
Well, that's one thing I wanted to ask you is this feeding into your parasitical, or what's the word you were calling it last week? Your
hope? Inevitable parasitic hope.
Yeah.
No. It's not.
It's not feeding into. I'm honestly surprised.
Honestly, 2018 kind of broke my spirit with Michigan, Ohio State, and it's that was the last time that I was almost confident. I was this is the year, and then Ohio State blew them out.
That was the year that they lost. They got whooped by Iowa, right?
And then that was 2016 that Michigan lost to Iowa.
Ohio State.
Oh, I don't even remember honestly. I remember I think Purdue. Had a 2-point conversion that just fell short, or maybe Maryland. Someone took Ohio State down to the wire the week before, and I was this is it. And then
it was Maryland.
It was Ohio State's entire season was just to prank Michigan later on.
Yeah, I was honestly super confident in Ohio State going into that game, and I can remember Isaiah Jackson. I think that year me and him were talking crap that week, and we ended up doing a bet on that game, and I think I got to pie him in the face.
Yeah, I went with some people to a Michigan basketball game, I think the night before that game. It was during the revenge tour with Chase Winovich. And one of them, I think Isaiah, bought the revenge tour shirt. And I go, look, I want that shirt. I'm nervous if I buy it, Michigan's going to lose.
Yeah.
And I didn't buy it, and I'm glad I didn't buy it.
Well, they lost because he bought it.
Thank you, Isaiah. Michigan 31, Washington 10. My thoughts. So, look, if I didn't watch the game and I saw Michigan only won by 21 points, even though it's Washington, it's whatever. It's not like they barely beat Montana, right? Or lost to Montana, but it's still I didn't think Washington was going to be very good. I do think their defense was good, but Michigan only had four real drives in the second half. They scored 3 touchdowns. Honestly, it felt a lot to me like a game like the Western game where Michigan was just like, we're better and we don't need to do anything. We want to get it over with. Also, I do think Washington's defense is good, especially their pass defense. There's that old saying, when you pass, 3 things can happen and 2 of them are bad. So I kind of, if you don't have to throw, even if you do trust Cade McNamara, if you think you can just run all over them and impose their will, sort of like almost like a Wisconsin, and I'm not saying Michigan's running attack is as good as Wisconsin's has been, but if you can run and not get stopped, then why bother? But so 7 for 15 for 44 yards obviously isn't ideal for Cade McNamara, but I think so the question is it a cause for real concern? Like, my question is, how many of them were real downfield pass attempts? I think a couple, not many. I didn't have time to go and look back. I wanted to, but most of the passes were at or behind the line of scrimmage. It was a super small sample size on actual downfield passes. But, like, going back, why throw in the game? You average 6.1 yards per carry. You have 2 running backs over 150 yards. The only way Washington was going to get back into the game was turnovers for touchdowns or Giles Jackson returning a kick. They kicked away from him. Kicked out of the back of the end zone, every kick except one. And I think both of those things were intentional, kicking away from him. And then once it was out of reach, they just wanted to hit him a little bit, I think. Then just coming out of the game, Blake Corum and Hassan Haskins are just fun to watch. It's not like Michigan's of the past, especially last year, but like run up the middle 1 yard, run up the middle 2 yards, run up the middle 1 yard punt. It's not like that, but Corum and Haskins are actually fun to watch. Each of them have the potential for big runs. Even if they're not like explosive long yardage runs, they're still trucking yards and getting there.
Yeah, I've seen some highlights from Blake Corum, and he's solid for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't watch much of that game because I was at a conference, but I mean, just looking at the score, it doesn't really tell me much. It's that I would have liked to see Michigan win by more, knowing the loss that Washington came off of, that they had just lost to an FCS school. But I mean, like you said, like you don't have to throw it all over them. Like, if you know you can run it, why show things that you can do?
Right.
And, yeah.
So I feel like the big question coming away is, does this change our thoughts on Cade McNamara versus J.J. McCarthy? For me, it's like maybe. I'm not there yet. Like, I still think McNamara will be the starter the whole year unless he gets hurt.
Yeah.
But it's got me thinking more about it, like possibly. What about you?
Yeah. I just think, I'm not sure. There's so many factors that go into something like that where you make the decision to have someone be your starting quarterback there's so many factors to change your mind. Like, the backup has to, McCarthy's going to have to start showing out more and be playing better in practice, which we don't see at all. Then also McNamara is going to have to struggle a little bit for that to happen.
I did hear a rumor that since McCarthy's throw in the first game, McNamara is not less focused, but he's more like looking over his shoulder a little bit more. That can affect confidence. Maybe that is just a rumor that doesn't have any legs, but
right.
It'll be interesting to see.
Going back to Ohio State, them losing, does that change your opinion on them easily winning the Big Ten?
No. I wish it did.
Yeah.
It's just I've seen this movie before. Like I keep saying,
I think. I mean, it makes me a little bit uneasy about it being so easy, but I think it helps that the next couple weeks they have a couple cupcakes to try and figure some things out. I think that helps for sure, but I do think they'll win the Big Ten still, and it won't. There'll be a few games that are close, but I think they'll figure it out. I still think Stroud's the guy. I think he played really well. I mean, he still made a freshman mistake at the end of the game, but I don't think anyone that we play is as tough as Oregon.
See, so even what you just said reminds me of 2018, where it's like, okay, they lost, and then they're gonna have some close games, and they'll figure it out, and they'll win. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh yeah, I've seen this movie. This is 2018 revisited.
Yeah.
Going over our picks, you actually beat me this week overall in picks. You were 12-2, I was 11-3, but I'm still up 21-4 against your 18-7.
Yeah.
So I'm still up.
We both had solid weeks.
We did have solid
pretty good.
weeks. It's all
Pretty good
these,
percentage there.
all the
The cupcake games,
crap,
yeah.
crap turd pile games make it a little easier, and that
Yeah.
will maybe change coming up. Maybe not. I only had 2 Big Ten takeaways for week 2. I'm still not sold as Iowa as a Big Ten threat, but I think I'm definitely sold as a definite West threat, in part because Wisconsin's offense, I think, kind of plays into Iowa's defense's strength. And then this one might be a hot take, but if Purdue wins at Notre Dame on Saturday, they're a West threat, but not because beating Notre Dame means anything. Notre Dame almost lost. They got lucky against Florida State.
Yep.
Coach not accidentally, I guess, iced his own kicker. They almost lost this week. It's just
To Toledo.
to Toledo.
They should have lost this week.
Purdue,
If it wasn't, I thought it was awesome the way Jack Cohn just looked at his finger and then throws the game-winning touchdown
that
pass.
was awesome.
But it's embarrassing that he had to throw a game-winning touchdown against Toledo.
Yeah. Do you have any Big Ten takeaways?
The only thing I really have is it was huge for as far as getting a team into the playoff that Iowa won when Ohio State lost to Oregon. Getting that win over a top 10 team and a team that everyone was expecting to do really well against Iowa beating Iowa State was huge.
Yeah, which really quick, as an aside, I just want to point out, I talked to you about it yesterday a little bit. I think it's funny that Michigan fans are still so high on Matt Campbell when he's 0-5 against their chief rival, like Jim Harbaugh is against Ohio State, and he hasn't won his conference. So I get he's at a worse traditional school.
Yeah.
But let's replace a guy that looks exactly the same and expect different results. Sounds like me smashing my head against the brick wall until I die.
Yeah, that's
So,
yeah. I think
uh,
there is that one small factor of it's harder to recruit at a level at Iowa State compared to Michigan, but
also then
Yeah.
if you take into account, even if Michigan's recruiting well, they're not recruiting as well as Ohio State.
right.
So you're asked to win with lesser players. You're not doing it. Goodness gracious. It's fun being a Michigan fan.
Yeah.
The Big Ten official players of the week this week were Blake Corum for Michigan, 171 yards, 231 all-purpose yards, 3 touchdowns. I was trying to take off my maze glasses and look at it. I feel like
Yeah.
that was the right choice. But
I didn't watch a lot of the games this week. I tried to watch as much as I could, but I mean, you could maybe argue for Stroud threw for over 400 yards, and 3 wide receivers looked really well for Ohio State. But I mean, like their stat lines look really well, but they lost. So I think that's a huge factor in that. I'd have to go with Blake Corum still for me.
yeah. And then defensive player of the week.
It was Luke Reimer from. Or Raymer? Something from Nebraska,
Yeah.
who played Buffalo. He had 16 tackles, 7 solo tackles, and 1 interception, which is like, it's a solid stat.
Solid
But
stat line.
neither of us agreed with this pick.
No.
I thought it should have been Matt Hankins from Iowa, who had 2 interceptions against Brock Purdy and Iowa State. It's a much tougher opponent than Buffalo, and he had 2 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's incredible that 2 different cornerbacks for Iowa has back-to-back weeks has multiple interceptions.
Yeah. And then I thought, again, maybe it's these glasses I'm wearing, but Aiden Hutchinson had 2.5 sacks. He had more sacks than all but 2 Big Ten teams this week, and that includes Northwestern getting, I believe, 3 against Indiana State. So just Aiden Hutchinson had a pretty monster game. And I feel like maybe they didn't pick him just so that it wasn't 2 from the same school, because 16 tackles was the 3rd most in FBS this week. So it's like not even in 2 weeks. It's not like a crazy. It's a good number. It's not like a record-breaking number. So a bunch of tackles, 1 pick. I feel like okay.
I mean, I feel like how many players have had 2 interceptions in 1 game this season alone?
Yeah.
I mean, the 2 Iowa guys might be the only guys.
Yeah, that's fair. Rapid fire picks for the turd pile of games. Hopefully this whittles down a little bit as we get going. But Maryland at Illinois. I got Maryland.
I also have Maryland.
All right. Nebraska at Oklahoma. Oklahoma by infinity. I don't know.
I think Oklahoma is really overrated. They struggled with Tulane, which is like why, but yeah, Nebraska's awful. So I got Oklahoma.
All right. Minnesota at Colorado. I got Minnesota.
I've got Colorado.
Ooh, boy.
Colorado almost pulled off the upset against Texas A&M.
Yeah.
So I got Colorado winning that.
All right. Kent State, Iowa. I got Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa.
Delaware, Rutgers. As much as I love Delaware's helmets, I'll say Rutgers.
Rutgers starting 3-0. Wow.
Crazy. Weird times we're living in. And I got Duke over Northwestern.
I got Northwestern. Duke lost to. They lost to something.
Northwestern's garbage.
No.
I mean, this is really picking, between two turds, I feel like.
Oh yeah, that's true. I got
Yeah.
Northwestern though.
On to the varsity games. Number 8, Cincinnati at Indiana, Saturday at noon on ESPN. I feel like Indiana comeback is now or never, right?
Yeah.
Cincinnati, the highest ranked team in the state of Ohio, soon to be a Power 5 school. Recruits, pay attention to this. Hop off the Ohio State bandwagon, get onto
wish.
this one. Cincinnati's going to win big.
Ohio State leaves the state for recruiting a lot anyway. They do get the best Buckeyes. I mean, yeah, because the Buckeyes stay either way.
Yeah.
They do get the best Buckeyes, but who did you pick?
I picked Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Okay, I do think, like, looking at this game preseason, it looked like, wow, that'll be a really fun game. But Indiana struggled week 1 mightily against a really good defense. I do think Cincinnati's strong suit is their defense, but Cincinnati really struggled in the first half last week to. They didn't play anybody good. It was Murray State or something, and it was like 10-7 at halftime or something. But then they really showed out in the second half. But that being said, I still have Cincinnati beating Indiana.
All right.
On the road.
Michigan State at number 24, Miami of Florida. I'll let you take this one first.
Okay. I think Miami they were what? They were top 15 preseason rankings, which I have no idea why other than De'Aaron King, he is a beast, but I don't think De'Aaron King he's really good, but the rest of the team is not. I don't think he is good enough to beat a solid team like Michigan State. Michigan State's look really good.
So you're picking Michigan State?
Yeah, Michigan State.
All right. I also don't think Miami is good. They obviously got blown up by Alabama, which who wouldn't? There's only a handful of teams that maybe wouldn't get destroyed.
I don't even know if there's a handful of teams that wouldn't.
And then they almost lost again on Saturday. Michigan State has looked really good so far.
I texted you Friday and said Miami's going to lose, and then to Appalachian State, and then they beat them by 2. I was like, come on.
All that said, I still got Miami. It's hard. Like Michigan State has looked good. They've also not played good teams. Maybe Appalachian State's good this year. Maybe they're not. I honestly don't know much about them. I feel like similar to Indiana, this is a put up or shut up week for Miami if you lose to Michigan State. Michigan State is guaranteed improved over last year. Are they a good team at this point?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to throw shade on them. I'm just like, for the process, not many teams will go from bad to good overnight in 1 year. So
yeah, it'll be interesting for sure because this is on the road. I mean, it's an environment. Miami, Florida, they got fans.
Yeah. Northern Illinois at 25, Michigan, newly ranked, Saturday at noon on BTN. I think Michigan's going to run it all over again. Michigan fans will pine for J.J. McCarthy to come in and or Harbaugh's head on a platter for running it so much again. But I think Blake Corum goes for 200. That's my big prediction. Blake Corum goes for 200. Hassan Haskin goes for 150 again. I think Michigan's going to win big.
I'm going to treat this like a turd pile one. I got Michigan.
Okay, fair enough. Purdue at number 12, Notre Dame, Saturday, 2:30 on NBC. I'll let you go first.
Okay, Notre Dame has struggled with Florida State, who's obviously not good because they just lost to Jacksonville State, which is the most hilarious game of the week on that ridiculous Hail Mary where the guy just, it was just stupid. Like, it looked horrible, that play. Anyway, back to Notre Dame. They almost lose to them, then they almost lose to Toledo. It's just, they don't look good. But I don't think Purdue is any good, and Notre Dame's way more talented, and Notre Dame bounced back, and they handled Purdue.
All right. We have a lot of separation this week with our picks. I like it. Notre Dame, like you said, got lucky against Florida State. or like I said, I don't know, one of us said it, both of us said it, icing their own kicker. Florida State lost to Jacksonville State, while Notre Dame got lucky again against Toledo. I think either Notre Dame comes out on fire this week, wins huge, or Purdue leaves South Bend ASAP because Brian Kelly actually murders his team this week when they actually lose a game that they deserve to lose. Brian Kelly, one of the few challengers to Scott Frost's porcelain throne. They're both turds. Purdue wins, hopefully big. Let's go Brom. I hope it happens. Boiler up. Tulsa at number 9, Ohio State, Saturday at 3:30 on FS1. I'll let you go first because it's Ohio State.
I didn't even do any research on Tulsa just because I felt like I didn't need to. I felt like it's not necessary. Ohio State's too talented to lose to a team like that.
Yeah.
I hope I don't eat my words. But, yeah, Ohio State's too talented. No way Tulsa's even close. They're going to win big.
All right. I think so. The only thing I know about Tulsa football is the year that Denard Robinson and Tate Forcier committed to Michigan, there was another quarterback who had committed to Michigan, who decommitted and then committed to Tulsa named Shavadrik Beaver.
Okay.
I don't think he ended up even doing okay at Tulsa. That's the only thing I know about Tulsa football. I think Ohio State will put up 100 and win by 70. I mean, that's exaggeration, but...
I think it's Michigan that they said they were going to put 100 up on, but...
Shavadrik Beaver went to Tulsa. There's that connection. We'll see. Game of the week, 22 Auburn at number 10 Penn State, Saturday at 7:30 on ABC. This is the game of the week. You lost last week's game of the week. You're sick of losing already, going 0-2. So we're saying for the overall standings, the winner of this game gets 2 points for the the standings here. I'm going to say Auburn by 10.
That's funny because I literally have Penn State by 10.
Fantastic. Just like week 0, I had 1 by 3. You had the other team by 3.
Yeah.
Now it's 10 and 10. Fantastic.
I think neither of these teams have proven that as top tier. It's the Wisconsin win is obviously a big win because Wisconsin's always solid, but they could have been like they were ranked in the top. Well, they were like 11th preseason Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. So who knows if they were really that good or if they're just pretenders and they're just like a good team. But I do think it's huge that it's at Penn State in a night game. Auburn has a new head coach, and I just think that's the difference. I think Penn State will win the game.
All right. I hope you're wrong again. Tweet of the week. Zach, what's your tweet of the week?
Okay, I got to pull it up real quick, but it was from the loss of the Florida State game. One of their offensive linemen proposed to his girlfriend at the time, now fiance. I'm assuming she said yes. I didn't get the word on that. But Barstool Sports tweeted at them like saying it's the worst proposal of all time. And he responded to the tweet and said, "Do you want an invite to the wedding?" And I just thought the whole ordeal was hilarious. I think personally if it was me, I would have bailed on the proposal if I lost to Jacksonville State, but
yeah, that's wild that he still went through with it.
Yeah.
Mine, I was debating because Texas got trolled pretty good, but I feel like I have to take this opportunity while I can. Just, I believe it was the Oregon marching band or someone on the team left a rubber ducky at midfield. Shades of Baker Mayfield. I just love it. I have to relish in it while I can because it happens once every 3 years apparently.
Well, I mean, and it's all in good fun. Like it wasn't like they trashed the field or something too. It's just a silly little rubber duck. Like I'm not mad about it. Like they won the game. Cool. Yeah. It's a fun way to rub it in our face. I'm here for it. So on to your punishment. You got one other thing I didn't say about the Ohio State game. Yeah. I think this this is what makes college football fun, and I'm kind of glad that a game like this happened, even though it had to be Ohio State. That's what makes it fun when a team that was 2-touchdown favorite loses. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have your punishment. Is there anything else we want to talk about? There's not. I'm really just trying to avoid this as much as I can. Yeah, I thought about buying the wing sauce from B-Dubs that you ate last week. I decided against it, and so right before we started recording, I went to concoct this over in the kitchen. I thought we should have made rules about this. I don't know. Everything is edible.
Everything in this is a food. It's not just
go grab
edible.
that trash can.
I'll go grab the trash can, or you can use your mug. It can also double as a barf bin there.
Is that gonna fit all my puke in it? I just ate dinner too, so that's great.
After he drinks it, he can guess what it is. If you can guess how many, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ingredients.
If I can guess 2 of them.
No,
3 of them.
If you guess 5 of them.
3 of them.
You can take a sip. If you guess all 5, I will drink the rest.
Is that coffee ground? The coffee beans? It's coffee beans is one of them.
There are 3 coffee beans in there.
Actually, it doesn't smell that bad.
Fantastic. I smelled it and it was like, that's the worst smelling fart I've ever smelled in my life.
It's not that bad.
Come on.
It's really sweet.
Ah! It is really sweet.
But I gotta drink the whole thing. It's really sweet.
You have to drink the whole thing unless you guess all 5 things.
Is that mac and cheese?
There is not mac and cheese. We'll say you get 3 strikes. Too.
Is that noodles?
There's not noodles.
Okay, I'm not saying noodles is. It's.
Okay, mac and cheese and noodles is 1. No, there's not.
What is that? It's awful. This is so chunky. Did you blend it?
I stirred it with a straw.
Oh my goodness! You gotta blend these things. I'm not gonna eat the coffee beans. I can't drink that one.
I thought you said it's good. You said it's not that bad.
I said it's not that
sweet.
bad.
Now you say you can't drink it?
I can't chug it. There's chunks in it.
You don't have to chug it.
I do have to. I'm going to puke if I don't chug it.
It's not that bad, but I'm going to puke if I drink it. That's what you just said.
What is this? It's so gross. It's so chunky. Can we put it in? Show it to the
You
camera?
can try. Oh, boy.
I'm not drinking the rest of it.
You've got to. At least it's only half the cup.
You try it.
I don't want to try it. I don't have to try it.
It's awful. Texture of it is just noodle. The one chunk of something is just texture of noodle.
I know what it is, but it's not a noodle.
No, let's talk about football.
Let's talk about Ohio State losing.
Okay, can we? If we talk about more about Ohio State losing, can I get out of this?
No.
What
What
can I
if
do
we
something to
maybe
get out of
you
this?
can sing the victors?
No. Is there something
That's
I can
your
do?
way out.
Anything else?
No.
I'll wear your shirt.
No, that means I have to take my shirt off.
You can put mine.
No. I mean, you have some guesses. If you guess what it is, you flip the script and I have to drink it.
Wait, you what?
If you guess all 5 ingredients, you've got 1. There were the 3 coffee beans. You get 2 more strikes. You guess noodles, there's not noodles. So you have to guess 4 ingredients, you can only get 2 wrong.
Is there like coffee creamer in this?
There is coffee creamer. Half and half.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Is there like an energy drink in here?
There's not.
What is so
that's
sweet?
1 more strike.
How many strikes is that?
That's 2. Because you guessed a noodle and an energy drink.
What is the noodle thing?
I'll tell you once you...
That is literally mac and cheese.
I promise you it's not.
What is it? It's a noodle.
Oh,
It's filled with
gosh.
something. Is it candy?
Is that a guess?
No. Can we
I would
just
take a sip. Swish it around your mouth a little bit.
stop? I'm gonna puke. Get the trash can, bro.
Okay.
I'd like to take this time to shout out our winner of the mug last week. We have our winner was Quentin Howard. He is an Oregon fan. It's kind of a cute story. His 6th grade teacher was an Oregon fan, so he's an Oregon fan. He's one of my best friends, but he is a casual fan. It's cool. Like he won just because he's an Oregon fan. Which is real lame of him to be an Oregon fan, but it's kind of a cute story.
Yeah.
His 6th grade teacher.
Super cute. So, trash can is here.
Oh, I might as well use my one guess before I chug it.
Yeah. Just to recap, you got half and half, and you got 3 coffee beans. You were wrong on an energy drink and noodle.
What in the world? It's like so thick and brown. Was it like the little crackers for communion?
No.
Maybe that's what the machine
Tell you
noodle
what,
type thing
you
is.
don't have to drink the whole thing if you hold it in your mouth for 10 seconds. You take a mouthful and hold it in your mouth for 10 seconds. It's either that or you can drink the whole thing.
Can you tell me what it is? What's in it now?
Yeah. Half and half, microwaved Coca-Cola, 3 coffee beans, 1 hard pretzel. That's
the
what you thought was
mushy,
a noodle. And 8 packets of Splenda.
Oh my gosh! That counts as sugar.
It's
Get
not sugar.
out of here.
It's not sugar.
That I get 1 strike back and I get to guess it now. That's so garbage. It's sugar.
It's not sugar.
It's sugar.
But it's not, though. It's like saying you guessed Coke and it was Pepsi. Oh, it's the same thing. It's not
Oh
the same.
my! You would not give me Coke if I said Pepsi?
No, because it's a different thing.
What is your deal?
I mean, rules.
You're such a turd.
At least I won. Here you go. I have to swallow it. You got
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for joining you guys. That's a wrap. Go Buckeyes.
Go blue.
I thought you were gonna say like the Wolverines or something.
No.
Okay. But like and subscribe, share, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're on Spotify. We're on anywhere you get your podcasts. We're on YouTube. We love you. Have a great week. Go Buckeyes.
Go get your cider at Quality Dairy.
That too.
See ya. Oh, that smells so bad. It's literally a sugar replacement. It's not. Its whole thing is that it's not sugar. What a good day.
He watched the game, and I asked him to name 5 players in Oregon. And he said, don't do that, bro. Don't do that.